Okay, hi, I'm Matt Jordan from Jordan Fabrics in Grants Pass, Oregon, and it's after work now, and I'm going to show you tonight how to cut a rail fence, which is one of the patterns we do here at Jordan Fabrics. It's very popular, but I'm going to show you how to do it with the simple tools, simple hand tools, and frankly, all the cutting we do here is with hand tools. It's extremely accurate, and I'm going to show you tonight exactly what you can do. If you get 4 half yards of fabric, you're going to have 32 blocks for a rail fence. And I'll show you what that means. It's very simple. But let's go ahead and get started. So I happened to get in today this little group from Kaufman Fabrics, Robert Kaufman, and it's called Bountiful Foliage. And about 6 prints or so, some solids. But our rail fence tonight, a rail fence is 4 fabrics. And I have always done 2 darks, 2 lights. I just kind of like it that way. I don't know why. But this is what I chose to use. These 4 prints. Kind of pretty. The black with the blue, gray, brown of course, and a little taupe. So what I'm going to do now is if you have half yards of fabric sitting around, even quarter yards you could do this with and do 16 blocks. But I'm going to do half yards because after I cut this tonight, I'm going to make my wife sew it tomorrow. And you'll see what a beautiful quilt it's going to be. So let's get started. I think I might have already said that. We'll start cutting half yards. And these are just an Opa cutting board, very simple to get. And I'm just going to turn it so that I'm starting on the 0. It's not a big deal. And this is what we call rough cuts here at Jordan Fabrics. And our blocks tonight are going to be 2.5 by 8.5. I think I'll cut, I'm going to need 17. I think I'll give myself plenty of extra tonight. I'll cut about 18.5 inches, but 18 would be plenty, and you'll see why as we get the thing done. So there's my first piece. Let's get another piece out here. Another piece at 18. Set that there. But if you've got 4 half yards that you like, get them because you can make a nice little throw-size quilt here. If you have a little extra fabric for borders, that'd be good. Or if you can go down to a shop somewhere and get some fabric for borders, it'll make a nice little throw, you'll see. You're going to have 32 blocks. And there's about 18. All right, now I'm going to take these prints over that I've selected for this quilt, and I'm going to go over and iron them. We iron everything here at Jordan Fabrics. Super, super important. It's the most tedious thing that we do, but it's the most important thing that we do. And I stress that to the ladies who work here every day with me here in the workroom, how important it is to iron and iron properly. So let's head on over. So when I iron, I don't want to stretch the fabric any weird way. I basically want to go just back and forth. Boom, one side, nothing elaborate. And then start at the other side at the bottom. Get that, we want to get that edge really crisp. And then come on up and be sure, as I'm ironing, I'm just looking at the fabric. I'm being sure everything's looking good. There's no extra little, batiks tend to be kind of wrinkly, if that's a word, but they have wrinkles in them. So I got that one out there just by, checking it out. The next piece here. And this is looking pretty good. There's a little section here. Just basically straight back and forth. Excellent. Beautiful cloth. Just going to set that here on top of this one. So I guess let's see. We're working with 4 fabrics. That'll be 8 layers. You know what? I think because this is for home sewing, we're going to do 4 layers at a time. I think that's good to do. Now see, this little some people would call that a flaw, but it's not. It's just where the dye didn't take in the making of this batik fabric. It's a very organic process, and I think it adds to the charm of it. I mean, if it was like, you know, bright red or something, I'd say, okay, there's something that happened. But that's just the charm of these batik prints. They're all different. They're all hand done. You can look at videos online about how batiks are made, and it's impressive in terms of the effort that it takes to do them, the hand effort. That one, I don't know why I did it. I just opened it up a little bit and ironed it as opposed to keeping it and flipping it. It doesn't really matter. But now I'm going to put you'll see why I fold them in half and do them. That's nice. There. So far we've got 3 of them. See, this hasn't taken very long, and if your iron takes a little longer, that's fine, but these are nice and crisp. I can feel the stiffness in them already. So it really helps to do a nice ironing job on your fabrics. Especially, I mean, if you're going to cut fabrics, bother to cut them. You don't have to, but I recommend you iron them. It's so much easier. Keeps the fabric smooth, straight. That's about it. I mean, that's all I'm going to do on it. The first cut I'm going to make is the cut from the fold to the selvage. And the size of this rail fence is going to be 8.5 inches of that cut and 2.5 inches the long cut. So let's get started here. So I've got it lined up on the 0 line, as I said, and we're straight across here. I put my weight on there, which I really like these weights. It helps hold everything steady. I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. There is no rush. Come up. I'm not playing with much extra here, but that's okay. Next one, I have more fabric to use, but I'm not using it. And see, I'm just taking my sweet time. Now I'm pressing down to the bottom, and all the way up. And you can see here, that was cut, you know, fine. I've still got my straight edge here, I can see, with the same distance here and on up there. Next one I'll cut over here. These are 8.5. So I'm going to line up on the 8.5 marker here, go out to 8.5. Put that down. Okay, I'm going to cut again. And if you're doing singles, I'm just going to cut right through. These blades go nicely through the batiks. And now 8.5 and 8.5 is 17, so I've got my 17 line. Set my weight down here. I'm just going to cut real easy and stop. I like to stop, gather myself, get my hand in a better position. Go again. Again. See there. Okay, beautiful. Now, I'll set these other pieces up. And what I have to be sure again that I do is get every part of the fabric over the 0 line, and to be sure that every part of the fabric is over the 17 line, because I'm going to 8.5 and 17. So that piece was nice. I'm going to put another piece on this time. Here, let me straighten that up there for you. Let me come down. Of course, we've got the phone ring there. Hopefully it's in order. Just kidding, no, I'm not kidding. So, what I've done now is I've taken the next 3 fabrics and I've lined them up pretty much straight on top of each other. Not perfect, doesn't have to be. And I lined it over the 0 line here. I'll be coming out to 8.5 and 17. And they all are fitting the bill, so to speak. So I'm going to come over here, put my ruler down, put it there. I'm actually not going to use that one. Okay, so we're going to cut up here. And this is just 6 layers. Well, 6 is still a lot of layers, but you can do just the 2 layers at a time. And I picked it up, I mean, and now I'm doing 6 layers. Just as easy, frankly. I almost think it's easier. Perfectly straight line right there. And I'm not sure why it's easier. I think I can apply a little more force, and the knife digs in and it's more steady. That's the only way I can explain it. Okay. 8.5, checking my numbers. Always check very carefully. Everything's lined up. I'm pressing pretty good with my left hand, because that's going to steady everything. See, I push down my fingers through the top. Sweet. Cutting is fun. I'm sure that's a good cut again. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's looking really good. This project is looking really good. And the last cut here on these 3 different fabrics, there's 6 layers here. Now, I did, nice and easy for you, but you can see it's a very, very easy, simple process to cut this so far. So now we have 4 of our fabrics, and I'm going to put them on top of each other. And you don't have to put them on top of each other. You could cut them into 2.5 pieces right now, any way you like, but I'm going to show you how I like to do it. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm going to turn. See how I want to do this to show you. Okay. I'm going to turn it this way. And I'll cut right-handed. And I'm going to take the folded edge, which is here, and these fabrics are lined up perfectly on top of each other, which is easy to do once you've cut them. Just put them on top of each other. There. Find my folds is right there. The folds, the folded edges. I'm going to put it about 1/4 inch over my 0 line again. This big line here. You can see it, so I may not be describing it perfectly, but I'm glad you can see it. And I think I'll do this group. I'm thinking here what I want to do. Okay, you could cut this right now into 2.5 inch strips, and it would be great. And you'd come back and put the other ones down and cut in 2.5 inch strips. You also could cut these. So that's 2 layers. 4 pieces of fabric, so to speak, individual pieces. 4 layers. This is 8 pieces of fabric, so to speak. Counting this is 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 or 8, depending on how you want to look at it. You could cut it like that, and that's real easy. And maybe I'll just do that. But I'll show you a couple things. So I'm going to do 2.5 inch strips. The lengthwise, so that there's no stretch to give to the fabric. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a straight edge right now, because these aren't exactly even, and that's not good. We're going to get those even so they can use as patchwork. Here's the first cut. And you know, you wouldn't want to reach this far up, but I'm doing this, the camera's right there, so I thought I'd just bring it right to you. So I've got my line is exactly on my 0 point there, running along where I just cut. I just cut there, and I'm going to cut there again. So here's my 2.5. Okay. All right. So now we have 2.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And we have 4 pieces of each one right now. So, really cool. See, that's going to be my order right there. Really cool. All right. So let me go ahead and cut these up. I'll get this lined up again. I'm just going to go to 2.5. And you just have to use, you know, you just have to use your eyes and just go very carefully. And I like to use my weight. Once I got it set, I can see it's doing it all the way down. And I'm going to go up again. And I'm going to separate these when I'm done. But you can see, I mean, they're beautiful, straight rectangles. Beautiful. Look at the line here. You can see here how even it is. All the way along. Very nice. Super nice. Cutting again. Two and a half. I'm just putting the blade up next to the plastic ruler, lining up on the fabric, 2.5. Continue on up. And you can just watch my hands the way I move them. My offhand, the hand that's not cutting, is more important than the hand that cuts almost. Because it's guiding me as I go. I'm a little up here. I can adjust that real easy. There. The fabric will move under there because it's not under a weight on the outside here at all. So as I go and push down, it will tend to want to creep up. So all I do, if it gets a little more than I like, it's still straight as can be. Straight as can be. Straight there. Same distance showing. Nice. Slide these over. And one more 2.5. Good. I've got 32 pieces now to make 32 blocks. We'll do a 5x6 quilt and we'll put some borders on it. And it'll be a nice throw size. And this one, maybe I'll give to one of my sons when we're done with it. They love these they love batiks and they like these colors too. I'm just separating now so that when the sewer gets it, who will be my wife, hopefully tomorrow. So you can separate. This is a cool print. I mean, you can see all the different colors that run through here, which coordinate with all the colors that are in this other prints. And it's a nice little blender style there. I like the one with the leaves here too. It's very cool. Very cool. Oh, interesting. Look at the colors on the back there. Same print. That's not a misprint or anything on the batik fabrics. That's just the organic style of how they're made. And once again, I'm just gathering these. I suppose if a person was going to cut and sew, you could just take these over the machine and just pick them out without having to separate like this. But I like to separate. It's easier for the sewer. So my wife and I have done many different types of textile businesses since about 1977. And for some of the businesses we did, we couldn't work with batiks. They didn't fit the style of things we were making, whatever it was. And we'd go in some of these places, the wholesale distributors, and I'd see these beautiful fabrics just sitting there, wishing I could, get some of them. But now, with what we're doing, it's very enjoyable because we can use any fabrics that we see that we like, and it makes it very enjoyable. And the cutting has been something I really enjoy doing, and it's therapy for me sometimes because I've been doing it for so long. I've been doing cutting since 1977, and it's somewhat second nature, although you've always got to be thinking because things can go wrong very quickly when you're cutting things to specific sizes. So anyway, it's challenging and fun at the same time. Here's our 4 fabrics. Beautiful. So I'll have my wife start sewing this. I think it's going to be really pretty. We'll put some borders on it, and we'll take it to the quilting machine, and it's going to be another good looking quilt. My wife sewed the rail fence quilt that we were working on yesterday. I was cutting out, and it came out really nice. I'm really pleased with the colors. This is 24 blocks. We put 3 borders around it, and I think came out real nice. So once again, those little rail fence blocks are here, 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, I've shown before, just the way you turn them can create a little stair-step effect, which we like to do. You can create other effects, but I like that stair-step effect. First border is this nice blue fabric here, blue and brown, really pretty. Little light border, and then a larger leaf. All these prints on the borders are also in the top, as you can see. Really like the way it came out, so I went ahead and I cut a bunch of the pieces out. We're going to do 24 block kits, and we cut them, ironed them. These are ready to be cut exactly the size. Thank you for watching the video. Appreciate you taking your time. I hope you learned something, and I enjoy doing them, and let me know if you like it. I'll see you next time.